Hi, this is Steve the Grumpy Hypnotist, and today's a short video. It's kind of an update on this very relevant topic these days regarding fear of needles, which apparently seems to be preventing a lot of people who otherwise want to get vaccinations, immunizations. Apparently it's preventing a lot more people than you might think from actually going ahead with getting the shot. So in a prior video on this channel, I shared an unsolicited comment from a recent client who was able to get the 2 doses of vaccine after having had a long long history of being very scared of any sort of needle or that sort of thing. So, but just in the past maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I've also helped a couple of other people. One of them actually sent a video of their family member who they had encouraged to seek hypnosis for their fear of needles, and this person passed along a video of that family member that I worked with actually getting the shot, the vaccination, which they were unable to do before. And after that, I also received another comment from another client who again, similar scenario. So I just thought I'd share that. And I'll just briefly go through the kind of the first comment I received, just a brief run through of. I went into more detail in the prior video about the history of this and how it worked out. But as it says here, my phobia has been a huge obstacle in my life for as long as I can remember, since early childhood. Always gone out of my way to avoid needles, not only getting them, but even seeing images of them. And as it says in this this comment here that she sent, after the hypnosis, she was even able to share Google images of needle icons just to test herself, and she put them in the email that she sent me, which is kind of humorous, I guess. But it just tells you that for some reason, something that she wouldn't have been able to do before, she was now able to do, which is nice. But not only able to look at images of needles and to add them to emails, but also, of course, to get the shot, which was an important thing. And she'd done, as it says here, done talk therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, all good stuff. If you're actually doing, good therapy, CBT especially. But with the hypnotic work that we did, she was able to get, as it says here, 2 doses of the COVID vaccine. And since we started the sessions, seeing such a huge fundamental change in the way of navigating the world. So that was an example of, it's not just about the needles specifically, but also about life in general, about patterns of avoidance and that sort of thing. And of course, getting over this phobia and actually having the relief of finally getting vaccinated, lifted a lot of burden, a lot of stress from her mind, because it was either the fear of the needle or fear of getting infected naturally, so to speak. So that worry is out of her way. So she feels a lot better about that, it says here. But she says it was almost hard to believe that she got 2 shots in 1 month, and she walked away from it feeling okay. Not great, but okay. And when she described the offline about what the experience was like, she described it wasn't like she was excited or felt great about going to get the shot, but she was able to handle it and get it done. So, and as it says here, my fear isn't gone, but it's not an out of control monster anymore. And she's able to look forward to getting actual other things looked into, like medical tests and that kind of thing done, seeking help from regular doctors and that kind of thing. So it's a huge relief. So I wanted to share this. As I said, I recently got someone was kind enough to pass along a video. I'm not going to share that because you can see who it is in the video of their family member getting a shot successfully. But I did receive this other comment pretty much within the same time frame of another client that says, redacted some part here, but I have been able to successfully schedule and complete multiple dental and medical appointments without the physical panic symptoms I'd previously been having: trouble breathing, shakiness, heart pounding, and more. All the classic panic type of experiences. Hypnosis with Steve totally worked to overcome my fear and anxiety about dental and medical tests, procedures, and appointments. I'm now able to handle these necessary life tasks, feeling confident and in control. I'm so grateful. So that's another example where a lot of times it's not just about the fear of needles or specific things, because prior to this whole vaccination situation, there's been other people I've helped with just things like medical exams in general, where they've just, apparently a lot of people have this fear of like getting hooked up to something, or like even blood pressure checked out. And of course the problem with that is if someone has a fear of that, it can sort of distort the readings, and it can, if someone has a fear of getting their blood pressure checked, when they're getting it checked, it'll show a higher reading than it normally would have outside the doctor's office. So it can really complicate like diagnosis and things like that, and it can feed into like this loop of wanting to avoid getting checked out, which of course causes these people to worry even further about, well, I haven't seen a doctor in years or decades even, because I've been scared. So now they have another worry that something could be going on that they haven't gotten checked out. So this is an example of like, yeah, it's not just fear of needles, but fear of just things of that sort, especially things that involve, like kind of like where the stakes are high, clinical settings, doctors, any sort of like clinical situation, which a lot of people it seems like have some sort of aversion to or fear about. So yeah, hypnosis is one possibility, as clearly these examples seem to indicate. Along with good therapy and counseling and that sort of stuff, that can always be a good thing to look into, probably first even actually, because hypnosis is more about tackling the automatic subconscious things, not necessarily about like rational thinking or that sort of thing, because people can make the rational cost benefit risk reward calculation of like medical exams and vaccinations themselves on their own. But yeah, hypnosis works on the level of dealing with basically the stimulus and the response as core, so that the stimulus of the needle or even the thought of a needle somehow becomes less stimulating in terms of the fear. Since we don't really have to convince people or explain to people, yeah, when you get a shot, it's like that. It's actually the one client who there was a video of when I met with them, they explained they knew rationally that it's just out, like a little prick, hurts. It's like an ouch. But even knowing that rationally, it didn't really help prior to the hypnosis, because the rational thinking is like a whole different layer, whole different network, and so hypnosis targets the stuff that's beyond the rational, beyond just like giving advice about yeah, that would be a good idea to get this checked out. So once again, it's Steve the Grumpy Hypnotist. I thought this would be useful to share these more recent comments with you. Okay, thanks, bye.